Just after 8:30. Good morning. It's breakfast on BBC Radio Kent with John and Maggie. Would you rather your child went to a mixed or single-sex school? Chatham Grammar School for Boys, which is currently undersubscribed, wants to go co-educational from 2017. Executive Principal is Stuart Gardner.
It's about providing educational choice for parents in the local area here. So currently parents and students who pass 11 plus in this part of Medway can't access a mixed grammar school. And we've been looking at that provision and feel that's an exciting opportunity for parents and for students. We do identify that there is a need to address undercapacity within the school, but also about meeting the needs going forward of the local area. So with a rising population in Medway, actually talking to the local authority and looking at actually being a mixed school allows us to meet the needs of both boys and girls going forward in the local area.
Let's speak to Dr. Stephen Curran, a teacher and author about education. Stephen, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Is this quite a common thing, or is it quite unusual for a single-sex school to go co-ed?
Well, it's not uncommon for schools to change their status. I mean, there have been grammar schools before. I mean, there's one over in Berkshire that was originally only for girls, the Burners Catholic Grammar School, and it went co-educational. It seems that one of the issues for this particular school, which has, I believe, existed since the 19th century as a boys' grammar school, but they've got a severe underfunding issue, I believe.
Yeah, well, they're undersubscribed and therefore underfunded because the money follows the pupil, doesn't it? So,
I think it's to the tune of around about £200,000
yes.
a year, so that's a considerable amount of money, and I would imagine for survival, they really need to attract pupils from a wider base. And in the end, if it's about survival, I think the parents would understand that.
Yes, they would. But will parents decide that that's what they want for their children? Because the evidence isn't it, that girls do actually better in a single-sex school?
I think there is some evidence for that. I mean, although I think the overall academic evidence, as I've looked at, the evidence I've looked at, seems to suggest that girls do better overall anyway, right across the educational system. So there might be it might have some small effect. Although because it's a grammar school, I would think.
Yeah, we're talking probably 0.01 or something, aren't we? In as far as the exam result, yeah.
I would have thought. And yeah.
What is that? What is the feeling? What is the feeling now? Is it about boys and girls being separated altogether? Is the in the educational world, do most sort of experts think they're better off put together?
Well, there are many single-sex schools. I think the jury is out on that one. I mean, obviously, children are educated mostly together in the primary sector. Unless they're in the private system, of course, where there are prep schools, which are separate. But I think, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to separate children at 11 years old and then, for the rest of their lives, of course, men and women work together. So it does seem rather odd, and perhaps it's better for children who are learning to make relationships and understand the opposite sex, for them to be together. I do remember being in a single-sex school myself, and to some extent, you are separated from something which is perfectly natural, which is to be with the opposite sex.
Thank you for joining us, Dr. Stephen Curran, education commentator on plans by Chatham Grammar School for Boys to allow girls from Year 7.
26 minutes to 9 on BBC Radio Kent Breakfast with John and Maggie.